Hello, welcome back, and today I'm just going to tell you the story of when I tried my teenage rebellion. This happened about 7 years ago when I was 16, and that was an amazing time because, well, I was not as thin as you see now. I was 160 centimeters and 60 kilos, so yeah, 160, 160. Great combo. I was basically a ball with legs attached. And so I told my parents that, okay, you know what, I need to change my style, I need to find out who I am. And so, just to piss them really off, I just went, because my parents are in their 60s now, they were about mid-50s then. And so, they grew up in the 60s and 70s. They have been through a lot of different styles. And so I just told them, you know what, I want to buy myself a black coat, really long, and just walk with it. And also, I want to try black hair. Fun part, I'm not that goth, I just love coats, and I wanted to color my hair because at that time, blue eyes, no glasses, and very blonde hair. If I were thinner and a bit taller, I would be a certain national socialistic, yeah, you know the deal. And so I wanted to really just change who I was. And so I just told them that, yeah, black hair and black clothes, that's it. My mom just, okay. She went out of the room, and 1 minute later, she came back with a bottle of basically hair color with very black colors, and she just went, yep, shall we do it here, or do you want to go to a hairdresser? That didn't go as I planned, because she knew that was going to happen at some point, because, well, she has been coloring her hair for about 40 years herself, so she began when she was 13 with a bit of an accident because she was trying mixing red, green and yellow. She ended up with something that looked like shit, basically, according to herself. This was before you had, basically, they didn't have a camera with color in its footage, so it's only different parts of grey you can see. Lucky for her. She had to knock on the door of the hairdresser an hour after they closed, just, help! Help! Hairdresser came out and just, in, now, let's fix this. Had to cut off entire hair, looks like she just came out of a war area. That was the next photo of her, that was just amazing. I'll see if I can dig it up later up. And I just turned to my father and just said, yep, I am going to buy myself a black coat and just walk with that. He just went, fine, but before you do, wait a second. And then he picked up, basically, this piece of blankets slash coat. And it didn't fit me that well at the time, because now, if I throw it up, now it goes almost, yeah, I have about 10 centimeters left on it. When I began to use it, it went about that far, no, it must have been that far, from the tip of my leg and out. That didn't go very well. And so if you combine that by trying to learn how to use a longboard, which I did at the time, horrible idea by the way, with a coat that's too long, it will at some point get itself attached to the wheels and you'll fall over at great speed, which I did. And that hurt quite a lot. Just broke about, yeah, what was it, 3 bones, and hurt myself quite a lot as well. Injuries all over the place. And just walked home, dragged everything I had in the leg behind me, just, hello, I'm here, I'm back. I'm just, and what did you learn today? It was that kind of punishment I get, or tension, because she knew that, okay, I could go all out and be very loving mother, or have you learned something today? Yes. Good. Now let's enter the wounds. Yeah, that kind, because mother as a teacher, if I become a teacher, I'm the 5th generation. And I don't want to become a teacher. So I've been always the pupil of the family, basically. That's quite annoying. But then again, Teenage Rebellion longboard phase ended. So rather quickly, that was fine by me, basically, because otherwise I would have not been here today. I would probably be killed in traffic. Yay. And I still have this coat. I haven't used it for now 2 years because, well, I need to have it cleaned properly, which means go out and get it delivered. It's quite big even for me now. Then again, it's quite good. Just need it a bit cleaner because the dog may or may not have used it as a cover. But here's the very fun part. Me with black hair, this coat. I had a phase where I tried to use or learn how to smoke a pipe. And so I was at a vacation down south of the country, which we call just a Bible Belt. Everyone is a bloody Christian. And so I went into a stall. And when you knew it pipe smoking, you use a lot of, well, matches. And so I went in, bought an entire, that was 24 pack of cigarettes on one stand. And by the way, could you tell me which route to take to the closest church? This was on pure hell. I knew I was going to say that, and I wanted to. Black hair, bit like this length, yeah, and this coat. Yeah, we have some famous church burners here in the country, so that was just a pure heck of it. I had no intentions of ever doing that. It was just for a laugh for me. Her face was, and then emergency button, where is the emergency button? And I just left. Bye! So that was fun. Then again, about a week later, I managed to burn my hand quite good. Because, here's a tip for you. If you're going to smoke a pipe, don't blow into the pipe as well. Because if you got fire burning in the bulb, basically, or at least somewhat embering, and you blew into that, what happens? Easy. Pew! And you got a lot of lit embers burning down your hands. That hurt. And when I told my mother I wanted to just try that, just because half fashion and half just, I think this is very interesting. I have no plans of starting to smoke really. Just, I think that is kind of having an effect on the tour because I have to focus on something. And it could be interesting. She just went, I hear you. Could be interesting. Here's a matches, try. That is what I had for, well, in my teens. That, okay, fine, do it. I've done way worse. I smoked since I was 14, so I don't bloody care. But it was also the kind that, okay, you can try it as long as you're open about it. Basically, was my childhood from my mother's perspective. And I think that part was very healthy for me because when you're very close in and you're so control over yourself and what can I do, what can't I do? Can I do this or not? Do I have to have complete control over myself at all bloody times? Or can I let go a bit sometimes? And especially if you have a dad who is alcoholic, you don't really want to drink. And also, if he has major impulse or lack of impulse control, Tourette is basically that as well. You do not want to go on any impulses. Spontaneity, fine, but where is that line? Is been my problem for, most of my life so far. And so, since I do not know where the line is, I've always tried to try and be behind, even if that's 10 steps behind, and then accidentally stepping way over it if I'm fast stepping over it. So that's the problem. And so having a childhood with a mother who is very accepting and also a teacher, that helped a lot, because she knew where it came from and how to deal with it at most times. But it was then we have a fight, but I don't think we have had any big fights when I was growing up, basically, because we agree on most things and there's not that much to, well, bicker about. Also bickering, but there are big fights, really, as far as I can tell. And you have to just see for every single kid. There's no formula for a kid and for childhood. There's no dream childhood. There's a lot of terrible nightmare childhoods out there, but you can't just focusing on that and what to avoid. There's probably a fine balance there somewhere. I have no idea where that goes. But anyway, every time I tried to rebel against them, they played a lot of Creedence Clearwater Revival, which I love still. Cat Stevens, The Kings, Queen, Beatles, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, a lot of 80s and 70s music, mostly. And so when I tried to rebel, I was just, okay, this is a bit too slow for me. Let's go for, and that was me at 16, just, let's go for Green Day. And Michael just came back, just, here's Dookie album, enjoy. I did. That was one of the earlier albums, just fluff and hell. Okay. What about, let's say, something a bit more recently, like Crush 40 or Metallica, Iron Maiden? You just want, check in the LP selection. Yep, there are the first albums of all of those. Fuck! So every time I tried to rebel, my parents, who are basically 2 generations away from me, because if you figure generations 20 years, it's basically, it's 38 between me and my mom, so that generation gap is quite big. And so they have done all the things that I even could or try to come up with. I would try to do that. I have done that. I know that won't work. And here's proof, basically. And every time you try to rebel, it's just like they have done it 5 times larger scale than you can ever think of. And that is pretty good. That is actually just, it's not like challenge accepted, it's just like, wow, I can't even try to compete with that imagination on that scale, because it's not even possible in today's age. Like, I'm going to Oslo, the capital of Norway, in the late of October. And I just asked my uncle, hey, how fast can you drive that route? I think I can do it in about 6 hours. Just because 400 and X kilometers. He just wants, dude, just under the shoulder. I've done that in about 4 hours in a Jaguar in the 70s. Try and beat that. I just want, there are too many traffic cameras now, damn it! So, even if you try to do something, it's just like, in today's society, it's impossible to do the same, because, well, you get caught. And there are laws for that now. Probably because of you. Thanks for that. And so that's the fun part of try to rebel and you will be shut down. But it's not that it's a straight no, because, okay, imagine yourself as a teenager. If someone told you that, no, you're not allowed to do that, would you stop? If it was your parents and you know that it's legal, I'm not just allowed from your perspective, then you probably went and did it anyway. But if you had parents, or have parents still, that is very including to most things, and they have done it in a much larger scale than you can ever pull off, they're just like, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to try and compete with that. And that's the funny thing also, because if you have no chance of doing it by society's rules, or rather, if it's illegal, many people will do it because it's a thrill of getting caught or just enjoying that little danger bit. But if it's like, okay, you know what, I want to try having a cigar on, well, New Year's Eve, just to see how that feels like. And my dad just went, or dad, stepdad, it's more stepdad, but then again, I just call him dad because original father, nah. Anyway, he just went, okay, just a tip for you. You have to sit there with a cigar for a long time. So, make sure that you stay in someplace warm. Otherwise, you will freeze your ass off. Otherwise, if you are drinking at the same time, and you're going to get up, you're going to fall straight over because you have no idea how strong alcohol is. Thanks for the tip! And the fun part is that he gave me one with a little bit of powder in it. Because I didn't buy it myself for some bloody reason. I was an idiot back then. Still am. And so I just tented or lighted it to... good. What the fuck? Just the smallest of the firecrackers he had put in it. Just making it sure that the last day of the year, he could pull a prank on me. Because we have a prank war going on, we had one for years, basically. See how far we could pull or push the other one. Nothing too harmful, but then again, it's just like, you have to see how can you scare them without it being a dangerous situation. Or can you fool them into believing something that's not true? It's a very interesting relationship, that one. And the last is... Damn it! Because I had no way of retaliating before the year was over, so it's just one point to him that year. Damn it! And so when everything you do in your teens are just shut down because you try your best to rebel because you don't want to end up exactly like your parents, but realize that shit, I have no chance of competing. I have no way of going back and doing that shit again. Then you just realize that, okay, you know what? I found a style, it works. Perfect. And so that was my attempt at rebel. But then again, what was it to rebel against? Being different? No, of course not. Anyway, that's my story. How did your teenage rebellion go if you had one? Well, let me know, type it in the comments, and also if you enjoyed me talking about the rebellion or this amazing code, like this video, and I see you all again next time. Goodbye.